Hello everyone and welcome. In today's video, I'm going to show you step by step how to create this landing page for your freelance design business or even your design agency. So this is what it looks like. So pretty much it's an image of a city here. It also has what you do. It has the team, and notice here when I mouse over these images, it has a bit of color to it. Okay, so moving on, we also have this section here which talks about the story. And then finally, we have this get in touch, which also has this image that comes to life when I mouse over it. Okay, and then over here, we have the contact form and also this address. All right, so let me show you how to design this coming up. Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Mac, and as I mentioned, I'm going to be showing you step by step how to create this landing page for your design agency or even as a freelance designer. This is a nice, easy, simple layout, and it's very, very clean. So I'm going to show you step by step how to create this. But before we get started, there's two things I want to talk about. First of all, I want to talk about this Divi design guide. Now, I created this Divi design guide. It's absolutely free. And this is what I'm going to be using to create this landing page. It has these buttons that I've already created ahead of time, so you don't have to go in and create these buttons. So you can see here we have different styles, and then over here we also have blurbs. This one here works on a dark background, and this one here works on a light background. Moving forward, we also have this paragraph text that's already designed for you. You don't have to go in and mess around with any sizes or line heights or any of that sort. Now, moving on, we also have this call to action, and again, this one here works on a dark background. This one works on a light background. And we also have this image. Now, remember on this landing page, I showed you how when I mouse over this image, it comes to life. Now, this is a pre-design. If I mouse over here, you can see it. Once you install this Divi design guide, it's going to have everything that you need. You don't have to go in and design anything. Now here we also have this contact form. So you have this one here, which has the outlines, and this one here has a dark background. So pretty much this is absolutely free. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is the bonus. If you buy Divi using my affiliate link, I will give you access to my web design formula course, the course that teaches you how to design professional looking websites with Divi. All you have to do is to buy it using my affiliate link and then head over to funnelstoincome.com. On the bottom right, there's a chat bubble. Just click on that and send me your receipt number. That's all you need to do. All right, so without wasting a lot of time, let's dive in and let me show you how to design this layout. All right, so right now I'm in the admin dashboard of my website. So what is important is when you design any pages or when you start working on your website, you need to have most of your elements ready. So in this case, I need all my images right beforehand before I start designing this page. So I use a plugin called Instant Images. And if I come over here to media, you can see I've installed, it's called Instant Images. Now, what this plugin does is it allows you to download images from unsplash.com. This is a place where you can download high quality images. They're all royalty free and you can use them on your website. So what I'm going to look for here is just a picture of an office. So I'm just going to search for office. And as I mentioned before, these are all royalty free. You can use these as many times as you want without any need for license. All right, so what I'm going to do here is to just look for an image that's going to work really well for a background design. So I'm going to click on this one here because I think this one here will work great. And I think I'll also go with this one as well. I like the mood, you know, everyone is laughing. So this is the impression that we want to give to the visitors of our site. So I'm going to download this one as well. Now, the good thing about this plugin as well is it downloads all the images into your media library, which means they're very easy to find and pretty much they're all already cropped. And once downloaded, you're going to see that we have a check mark over here. And now you see we also have another one here. So I'm pretty much ready to go. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is the Divi design guide, which I've created and I'm giving away absolutely free. And I know I spoke about it briefly in the beginning of the video, but I just want to go through this one more time. And this is what it is. So you can see here, I've created these buttons here. So these are just different styles, which once imported onto your website, you can use or choose whichever one you want to go with. So here is button 1, button 2, button 3. And then over here, we also have the blurbs. We have this very first one here, which is ideal on a light background. Now this one here is just a different style. Now moving on, we also have some paragraph text. This one here is ideal for a dark background, and this one here is for a light background. Now, moving on, we also have some call to actions in case you want to add any call to actions on your site. We also have some images. Now, this one here has a hover effect. So when I mouse over here, you can see that the color comes on, but normally it's black and white. And then this one here has a drop shadow. And then finally, we have contact forms, and you can see here they're pretty much stylized, and it's not your stock contact form that comes with Divi. All right, so this is the Divi design guide. It's absolutely free. I'm going to add a link in the video description below. You can go ahead, download it, install it on your website, and start using it. Next, I'm going to show you now how to install this Divi design guide. All right, so I'm going to come back over here now, and let's create a brand new page. So I'm going to come over here to pages and click on add new. Now, ideally, you want to give your page a name. So let's say you call it something like style, because you want to go in and make some changes to this every now and again, and not just leave it as it is. So this will be the central place that you can come in and do those changes. So I'm just going to call this style 00 because I already have this page on my site. All right, so I'm going to click here on use Divi Builder. So this is pretty much your normal way of designing your website. You go into the builder, and in this case, we want to build everything from scratch. So I'm going to click here on start building. Now, instead of just going in and start building, this is where now we need to install our Divi design guide, which is this one right here. Okay, so over here, in your case, you would have gone onto my website, downloaded it, and it's a JSON file. So all you need to do is to come to these three little dots on the bottom here, click on portability, which is these two arrows, one pointing up, one pointing down, and then click on import. Navigate to that file by clicking here where it says no file selected. Now mine is my downloads folder, and it should look something like, let's see where it is. There we go. So free Divi design guide. So you click on that, click open, and then it gets imported. Now, once it gets imported, you're going to have access to all these designs. So I've already gone ahead and imported it. In fact, I think I've done it twice. So, but anyway, it's not a problem. Now let's start designing our landing page. So I'm going to come back over here to my dashboard. I'm just going to say discard and exit. So over here on my dashboard, I just want to create a new page by clicking here on add new. We're going to give this page a name. So let's get rid of the Gutenberg editor here. So I'm going to call it my landing page, but of course you can name this whatever you want. Let's just put a capital P here so that everything is all consistent. Okay, so next I'm going to click on use Divi Builder, and I'm going to start building this page from scratch. So I'm going to click here on start building. Right, so the very first thing we need to add here is a full width header. So I'm going to come over here to full width and then choose full width header. And by default, this is the style that comes with this design. So we want to go in and change all these elements and make it look like our own design. Next, I'm going to come over here to Lorem 2 because I want to be able to use some dummy text because I hate typing. I'm a very slow typer. In fact, I keep procrastinating. I keep saying I need to learn how to type fast. But anyway, that time will come. Okay, so I'm going to copy a bit of text here, and this is going to work as my dummy text, but I'm not going to use it yet because what we're going to do here is to add our main name for our website over here on the top. So we could call this Mac Designs or Mac Studios, whatever it is. And then over here, I'm going to state where this is situated, which is Birmingham in my case. Okay, so pretty much that's the location. And then I'm just going to delete this text over here. So all I have now is Mac Designs Birmingham. Now this button here, to be honest, we don't really need it, but if you want to add a call to action on your landing page, you can go ahead and add it. So in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and delete this text, and this gets rid of the button. So now all I have is just Mac Designs Birmingham. But as you can see here, this design doesn't look great. We really need to go in and stylize this text. So let's go ahead now and click design. And what I usually do here is I click on this paintbrush tool, and this will just take me directly to the element that I need to make my changes to. So in this case, let's add our font here for our heading. So let's go with Monsterrad. And then let's make this bold, or in fact, we could go for ultra bold. We want it nice and bold. It's a big statement that we need to make here. And let's give it a color as well. So I'm going to give this a really bright red. So I'm going to drag this all the way to the top there. Okay, so I've given it the color. I'm also going to center it because I prefer to have my design all centered. And then what I'm going to do next here is just to make this text nice and big. Okay, so we're going to go with 88. In fact, you know what? We are going to add some letter spacing here because I love letter spacing. I'm going to use this as my design element. Okay, so I've got my letter spacing now. So that looks great. Next, I'm going to work on the title here. I mean, the area where I am, which is Birmingham. So again, I'm going to center it and we're going to change this to Montserrat and we're going to increase the size a little bit, not too much. So I'm going to go with 20 and just making sure it's all caps here. Now, I'm also going to add some letter spacing here. Okay, so this time I'm going to go with 16. Okay, so that's looking great. Let's make this bold. There we go. So now it's looking bold. So what I may also need to do here is to add some line height just to separate the two. So I'm going to go with about 2.4 and that's already starting to take shape. Now over here on the color, let's go back in here and really brighten this red. Okay, that's looking much better now. So all I've done here is I've moved the slider all the way up. So I'm pretty much happy with that. So the next step now is to just make sure our layout is full screen. So I'm going to come over here on layout and make full screen. So now my design is pretty much full screen and this is how I want it. All right, so now that I have this, I can also add a scroll down button, which I can just activate by coming over here. And this is what it looks like. Now, as you can see, there's several styles. There's also that one here that you can go with. So pretty much I'm going to leave that as it is. I think that looks great. If you want to change the color as well of this button here or this icon, you can change it by coming over here. But we're not going to do that. Next, I'm going to now add my background image. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go back over here to content, click on background. So first of all, my background that I'm going to add here is going to be a gradient. So I'm going to start off by clicking here on the second tab and then clicking on this plus button. So my first color here is going to be black. And I'm also going to be playing around here with the gradients. So I know I've added these two colors here already. Next, I'm going to add my image now by coming over here. Now the image I'm going to add is pretty much an image of the city itself. So I know this is not Birmingham, by the way, but that's the one I could find. So I'm going to go ahead and click upload an image. And you can see here, it looks very beautiful. I mean, I really like this image here and it works with the style that I'm going here with my site. So what I'm going to do now while my image is selected here is to go over here to my blending mode and I am going to choose multiply. Okay, so you may be thinking, well, Mac, everything is gone. It's gone black. What's going on? Well, what we need to do now is to come to the second tab, and this is where we're going to start adding our transparency. So I'm just going to drag this down a little bit, and you can see as I'm dragging this, now it's starting to reveal my image there in the background. And I really, really like this. It's a subtle design, but it's showing now my image. So I'm just going to bring it down to about 0.25. Now the bottom here, to be honest, I think it's fine. I don't need to make any changes to this. I really like the darkness here. It's blending into the Mac designs here on the top. Now, if you don't really like color over here, you can just make it white as well. That pretty much works. You can reverse this and have this in red if you wanted to. So pretty much I'm done here with my design. I'm going to save this. Now I can see here I have a section that was here by default on the top. I'm just going to delete that. Okay, now let's start adding all our elements. So I'm going to come over here and click on this plus button. So now we're going to add another section. Now this section here is going to have our title, which introduces it to the content on that particular section. So I'm going to go here with a single row. And in that row, I'm going to add some text. So I'm just going to search for text here and select it. Right. So as you can see here, the text that I have is pretty much generic. Now, this is where the style guide comes in. So if I come back over here, you notice that we have this text here as our paragraph, right? This is Montserrat. I've already given it a size and it also has the color that I need. So back over here, all I have to do now is to go to my presets. And then I can just go with paragraph 1 because this is Montserrat. So you can see here, it's changed right away. I didn't need to go into the design to make all those changes there. Okay, so now let me title this. So I'm just going to say what we do. There we go. Now I'm going to come over here to design and let's center this text by just scrolling over here and centering it. And what I'm also going to do here is to just give it a bit of letter spacing because we've used letter spacing here as our design element. So we might as well be consistent with it. So next, I'm just going to make this bold. by coming over here. Right, so I really like that. That's what I'm going to go with. And I'm also going to make sure I add this style on each section that I'm working on. All right, so now it's time to save. Next, I'm going to come over here now to my section settings. And again, there's also a preset over here. And this preset is section padding. So if I go ahead and select that, this now is going to give me some padding here, which is pretty much great because it gives me enough breathing space on my section. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to add another row. So I'm going to click here and add 3 columns. Right, so in this row, we're going to have blurbs. So I'm going to search for my first blurb. And here it is. I'm going to go ahead and select this element. Now you can see here it comes in with my Montserrat text and everything is pretty much in place. It's saving me a lot of time to go in and make changes to this. So I'm going to come over here and activate my icon, and the icon I'm going to go with is let's see, right, let's take this one here. Okay, let's go with that. So that's going to be my icon that I'm going to use, and pretty much I'm done. I don't need to do anything else here, but if you want to change this and give it, you know, a different look, you can go to blurb 2. Okay, so here it is. And this is what it looks like. So this could be the style that you may want to go with. And to make changes to this for the background is very, very easy. All you have to do is to come over here to background, and you can just change this by just making it black. Okay, so I'm going to save this. Now, what you need to do is, of course, this is a template. You want to go in and add your own text in here. So let's just do that by just using some dummy text here. So I'm just going to copy a bit of text here, which is going to act as my title. So I'm going to paste it in here, then back over here. I'm just going to copy a paragraph and paste it in place like that. Okay, so pretty much that's my content. I'm going to save this. And then what you may want to do here to make things quicker is to duplicate this twice and then just drag this into position like that. And then drag the other one into the 3rd column. So pretty much we're done. All you have to do now is to go into this one here and make some changes to it and also change the title. So I'm going to come over here and let's change the second one here. And this is going to be our title. I'm going to leave the description here as it is. And we just need to change the icon here. So that's photography. Let's add film. Let's save that one here. And then we're going to go into the next one. So here we also need to change the title. So we're going to go with, let's go with this. I'm going to paste it in here. And now let's change the icon. And what icon should we add here? Right, let's go with this one here. Okay, so now I'm going to save. So there's a slight thing that we need to change here. And this is the line height over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down my command key and select all 3 of them. Okay, this is multi-select, by the way. If I click here now on this gear icon, I can go in and make some changes to this particular text here. And what we need to do is to add a bit of line height. So we're going to go with 1.2 and we may increase it if we need to. So let's try 1.4, save. Okay, as you can see, that's looking better. And because I used multi-select, all my changes have been added onto this right away. Great. So now we have our title here. And as I'm looking at the title, it looks like it's overpowered. It's way too small. Let's go back in and make it slightly bigger by clicking here and design text. And let's just increase this a little bit. Let's go to 20. Yeah, I think 20 works better. All right, so I'm happy with that now. I am going to save changes. Right, so let's just take a quick look here. So we can see here we have our main design. As I scroll down, we have what we do. Okay, so that's looking great. Now, what I may also want to do here is to maybe increase the size a little bit. It looks like everything is all squashed. Now, these are the decisions that you're going to be making as you're designing your website. So we might as well go ahead and do this right now. So I'm going to click here on row settings and let's go to sizing. And right now we are on 80%. So let's make sure our maximum width here is also 80%. There we go. So that's looking better. Now, what I also want to do here is to reduce the gutter width. Now, the gutter width is the space between the columns. So let's reduce that a little bit. Okay, so that's looking better now. And now let's save. Okay, there we go. So I really like this now. As you can see, it's taking up a bit more space. And this is going to be now the standard throughout my site. All right, so now we're done with this. Let's move on to the next section. So I'm going to click here on this plus button here. Go to regular. Now, the next section I'm going to add is going to have all our team. So I'm going to go with 4 columns here because all the team members are going to be in this column here. So the first one I'm going to add here is an image. So I'm going to go ahead and select it. Now I already have all my images in the media library, and you can see here that if I click here, these are the images, right? So I'm going to start with this guy here. Click upload an image. And the style that I have here has a drop shadow. Now that's not what we want, but we're going to change this in a moment. So what I'm going to do now is to come over here to my preset, and I'm going to go with the image 2. And you can see here that this is going to change this to black and white. Okay. So this is the beauty of using these, the Divi design guide. So you don't have to go in and make any changes to this. Everything is all set for you. So this is the one that we've just selected. All right. So back over here. Now that I've selected this image, I'm going to hit save. And then I'm just going to duplicate this a few times and drag this image into position. Okay, so this one needs to come over here. And then this last one needs to come over here. Okay, now you know what we did before on this row? We made it bigger. We made it 80% width. So what we're going to do is we're just going to copy the styles here. So I'm just going to go to copy row styles, come to the bottom one here, right click, and then paste row styles. Look at that. That's just really fast. I didn't need to spend so much time working on this. All this now is consistent, which is really cool. Now, the next step now is to just come over here to my section settings. So the first thing I need to do is to add my my padding. So I'm going to go with section padding, and I'm going to add a background color, and I'm going to go with black. So now you can see that everything is really gone dark, but of course, we're going to go in and change these images. So let's start here with the second one. So I'm going to go in here and just replace this with the right image. Click upload, save that, come over here and change this. Add this guy here. Save that. And then the final one is this lady right here. There we go. So all my images are in. Now, what's missing is the title of this section. So I'm going to come to the top here, and this one here, which says what we do, is the one that we want. So I'm going to duplicate this and then just drag it down here. So I'm going to drag it all the way down and let go. So I'm just going to go in here and just say meet the team. There we go. Meet the team. Now the color here looks great as well. So I might as well leave it like that. It's very subtle and I really like the way it's looking. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go in and add our text module. So I'm just going to go here and search for my text module and select it. Okay, so now that we have this here, let's add our name. So this is going to be Joe. And then over here on the top, I can use paragraph 1. And we can see here that the name has just gone in and it's looking okay. But you know what? I need to make it slightly bigger because this is only paragraph text. So I'm going to come over here to design text, and it's always great to center this because everything else is centered. We're going to make it all caps, and we're going to increase the size a little bit. So let's go with 18, and we might as well make it a bit bold so it's easier to read. So let's go with semi-bold. Okay, I like that. And the color, let's go with white this time. Okay. All right. So now that we have the name there, we just need to add a bit of letter spacing. Let's go with about 8. And pretty much I'm happy with that. I'm going to save. Now, all I have to do is to duplicate this a few times and then just drag it over here. Now you can see here that this is saving me a lot of time because otherwise I'll be going in here and spending so much time trying to customize this. All right. Let's add this here. So all I have to do now is to drag this into position and then rename them. All right, so this could be Emma. And this guy here could be Jack. And then this lady here could be Susan. There we go. Right, so that section here is looking really, really great. I mean, as you can see, it's very minimal. And I'm not really going crazy here with the design. It's just very, very simple. Now, once I save this page, when we mouse over here, you're going to see that the color is going to shift into a color just as it is here, on this Divi design guide. There we go. All right, so let's move on and let's add another section. And this time we're going to have a call to action and perhaps maybe even a video. All right, so let's click here on this plus button. Let's go with regular. And I'm going to have a 2/3, 1/3 column here. So I'm going to go ahead and select this one. And on this side, we're going to have a video. So this video here could be a promo video for your company or whatever it is. So it's really cool to have one of these here on your website if you do have one. But you can just leave this as a call to action. It doesn't really matter. All right, so I have the video here. Now, straight away, what I like doing here is to add an overlay image. So I'm going to come over here to overlay and then click on this plus button here and choose the image. So the image I'm going to go with is this one here. So that's going to work as my overlay image. Now I'm going to work on the icon itself. So I'm going to come over here, click on play icon. Now the size straight away, you can see it's way too big. Let's reduce this by just dragging this down to about, let's go with about 60. Yeah, I'll go with 60 pixels. All right, so that's looking great. I'm going to save that. And then what I'm going to do now is remember our sizes here for our rows. We set it to 80%. So I'm going to come back over here and copy the row styles and paste the row styles here. There we go. So now the video is nice and big. And I'm also going to come over here to my section settings and change this to my section padding, just to give this a bit of breathing space. Now over here now, this is where we're going to add our call to action. And I'm going to search for it and add it like that. Now there's two styles here. So I'm going to go with call to action 2. Does that work? Yeah, I guess it works. And for my button to show, I need to come over here to the link and just add my URL. So I'm going to add my URL like that. And you can see now my button is now showing. All right, so that looks great. Next, I am going to now just go into my text here and just update my text with some dummy text. So I'm going to come over here, add my text. And we also need to work on the title here. So I'm going to go with that. There we go. So that's my title. In fact, that's a bit too long. Let's get rid of this. Okay, so that's my title and that's going to be the call to action. So I'm pretty happy with that. So now I am going to save and there we go. So as you can see, this is not centered. So ideally, what you want to do here is to just push your mouse over the end of this module and just drag this. So this is now adding some margin to the top and I'm going to go with 200. And now you can see everything is all centered and it's looking much, much better. So this is where we can decide whether we're going to have a dark background here or we're just going to keep everything nice and clean. And to be honest, in my opinion, I think I'm just going to leave this as it is. But if you want to play around with some styling, you can go in here and add an image in the background, or you can add a shape that just cuts across here. But I want to keep things nice and simple, so I'm going to leave it like that. So pretty much we've created now this nice, beautiful, minimal landing page for your design agency, or even if you're a freelance designer, I mean, you can pretty much use this design as well. And over here, you can replace this with your own style. Now let's add one more, and that is the contact page. So I'm going to come over here to add a section, and it's going to be a regular section. Right, so for the contact form, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use 2 equal columns. And then on the left, I'm going to add an image. I'll go ahead and select that. And I'm going to choose the image. And the image I'm going to go with is this one right here. Upload an image. And I'm going to change the style because we've been going with black and white here. So I might as well go in here and change the style and save. Next, over here now, I'm going to add my contact form. And as you can see, it's already styled. But I want to see how things look when I add black to my background here. So let's go ahead and add black. So now that I've added black, we can also add some padding here. There we go. And I think I may also want to add, the title for this section. Did I add a title for this one here? No. So I need also a title for this section here. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to duplicate this one here and drag it down. Bring it all the way down here like that. So let's just say our story or my story. Okay. I'm going to duplicate this one more time and drag this to the bottom section. There we go. Then I'm just going to say contact us or get in touch. Right, I think I prefer get in touch. Okay, so that's what it looks like. So now we can save this. And as you can see here, this is not the right size. So we're going to come over here to our row settings, right click here and click on copy row styles. And then we're just going to come over here and right click and paste the row styles. There we go. So everything looks nice and big. Now we're also going to do what we did before, and that is to add some spacing here. But of course, we can also add a text module. And I think that looks much better, to be honest. So let's search for our text module here. Okay, it's added here on the bottom, but it's okay. So this is where we can add our address. So I'm going to do that by just grabbing a bit of dummy text here. Okay, so I'm just adding some dummy text here just to make it look like an address. There we go. Now it's time to stylize it. So all I have to do now is to go over here, text, change our font. We're going to make it slightly bigger. Okay, let's make it semi-bold. Yeah, I think that looks okay. I'm going to save that and then just drag this to the top. There we go. So that's the address. That's our contact form. And that's our image here. So what we could also do here is to change the style, because we have a different style here just in case you want to go with something like that. And to be honest, I think that looks better. Okay, so let's go with that. Right, so I'm going to save this now, and pretty much this is our landing page, and it looks very clean, very, very professional. So you can pretty much use this design in your own designs as well. You can copy exactly how I did it in this one. And to be honest, I don't really mind if it helps you. I mean, so be it. All right, so pretty much that's all I have for you in today's video. I'd like to remind you that if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, go ahead and hit subscribe and also hit the bell notification, because by doing so, you'll be notified when I release new tutorials. All right, guys, that's all I have for you in today's video. If you have any comments about this design, please let me know in the video description below. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.